Welcome back to my channel, Georgia Guerra Woman Wellness and more. And I'm your host, Georgia Guerra. And hello, May. Happy new month, everybody. Hey, Knots, how you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Today is Thoughtful Thursday, Throwback Thursday, Thankful Thursday. Hey, Frank, how are you doing? Happy new month. Happy new month. Happy new month. How's everybody doing? Thank y'all for the ones that already gave me a thumbs up. I appreciate you all. Shout out to my members, my Georgia troopers. Thank y'all for rejoining. Some of the ones that rejoined. Hey, welcome to my channel. I am your host, Georgia Girl. Today is Thoughtful Thursday and Throwback Thursday. I'll be talking about, do y'all think spanking should be put back in school? You can share your opinion down in the chat. Do y'all think they should start by spanking kids at school? Huh? You, why you were laughing, Frank? Because there are some schools, and then the current administration is trying to force some different types of disciplines in the school right now. So I just want to know y'all opinion. Every time I try to come down, hold on. They do it every time. Yeah, I had that phone call. Hey y'all, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. I'm okay now. How y'all doing? Happy Thursday, Thankful Thursday, Thoughtful Thursday, Throwback Thursday. I want to talk about, do y'all think the kids should start by getting spankings in school? Or is it some other kind of discipline they should get? Our current, y'all see that paddle bike now, right? Y'all remember that right now? Do y'all remember getting those right now? There you go. Do y'all remember that? Can y'all hear me now? So you think, Frank, I know what you think. Okay, let me see what y'all saying. Thank you, Terry. Terry just dropping some reminders and things about the chat. Y'all know to be respectful in the chat. If you coming in the chat, please give me a thumbs up. I'm like monetized now, so every little bit does help. Hey, guys, how you doing? Good to see you. And thanks for everybody who has supported me back on this journey. I was able to get back remonetized, but I know, like I said, I wouldn't have been able to do it without you all and God. And if you're out there trying to get back monetized, keep pushing. Keep pushing, E. You almost there. I seen you. I seen where your numbers are. Keep pushing. But I'm trying to see who all in the chat. Hey Frank. Hey Knots. Hey Terry. Hey if I'm saying your name right, is it Roblox? Hey, welcome. If you're new, I think you're new. I never seen you before, but welcome. Um Frank said he was laughing at my question. Okay, the robot gathering, honestly, no, I believe that for the parents to do. Okay. So this is going to be a respectful dialogue. Everybody opinion does matter. If you feel like kids should be bite punished, like spankings in school, you know, you can say yes, no. And hey, Butter Roll, I did see you in here. Good to see you. Frank said, Frank said because that won't work for the kids of 2025. Kids, they will fight. Frank said because that won't work for 2025 kids, they will fight you. And hey, Angie, how you doing? Good to see you. They will fight you and laugh in your face while you try to hit them. You know what? It will be challenging trying to whoop some children now. I'm just, I know as parents, we still have to discipline our kids, but there are things they can do at school. If it come down to them, I think the administration is trying to put it back in schools, but they haven't did. Some areas have whooped children in 7 or 8 years. All of a sudden now, since you know who back in office, he want to force it back on. So I was just doing a honest, just sharing a dialogue about it, and it's just for educational, entertainment purposes only. But y'all remember that paddle right there? Y'all remember that, don't you? They sell these in the stores, y'all. My mama just got a switch, or one of my teachers used to use one of those right there. How many of y'all used to get spanking with one of those? My first grade teacher, this is what she used to do, y'all. She used to take our hand and bend it back like that and use one of those rulers. And them things were hurting. They was hurting. You hear me? Welcome in, everybody. If I haven't told you all, thank you for supporting me, helping me get back to monetize, because I know I couldn't have did it without some of y'all watching my playlist, uh, giving me those thumbs up or thumbs down. Thank y'all so much, and I appreciate each and every one of y'all. And thanks again to the ones that joined my membership. It does mean a lot. I appreciate you all. The work in that worked in 1980 in 2000. Today, I don't think that it'll work today. You don't think the spanking will work today? So I was reading. Y'all know I read over here. I was reading where the Trump administration is trying to change some discipline in the school system now. But I'm like, Frank, the way how these kids now, boy, you'll be have to fight. You will have to fight these kids these days, y'all. I mean, you really would have to just really do a boxing match with someone, because some of these kids are not going to let you whoop them, because they have, first thing you try to whoop a child now, they going to want to say you abusing them. So my question is today, do y'all think when it come down to the school discipline our kids, or you have to discipline your child out in public, do you think that's considered abuse? Because that's what the children are hollering now. The children are hollering abuse when you try to spank them. But you know what, y'all? You can't let them rule you. You cannot let those kids rule you. You gotta let them know who's the parent. How many of y'all remember getting them spankings? Woo! I remember going to the principal office. That man had a big old thick. I mean, he had, well, look, you see that thing now? He used to have one of them thick paddle, y'all. How many of y'all, did y'all have that in y'all school? Because I think they stopped paddling back in, if I'm not mistaken, when Obama got in office, he signed a, I'm finna read now, when did they stop spanking? Hey, Terry, good to see you. And thank you for dropping those reminders. And you should be getting your package pretty soon. If y'all missed the autism live the other day, y'all missed it. You watched the Angie. We had Terry up there. He was sharing about his journey by autism, and we also had Living for Jesus. We had a great show. We had people in the chat sharing. We'll be doing more panels. Today, I'm just talking and just interacting with the chat today. So I'm going to read when did they stop paddling, but now what year they stopped paddling in school, but there are still some schools are doing it. I remember getting no spanking. I used to, ooh. My principal was named Mr. Webb. That was when I was in high school. But when I was in elementary school, they would whoop us with like a little ruler, the ruler I showed y'all. But some areas are still doing it, and some parents are suing these school systems for whipping their kids. So I don't think it gonna work no more. I just was trying to see what y'all opinion about it, how y'all feel about it. But did y'all used to get spankings? Um, yeah, they'll laugh at you. Ooh. I wouldn't dare. If I was a teacher, I don't think I would want to do that now, especially with like Frank said, with the generation they got right now. Uh, with the generation right now, these people, ooh, shy. You'll just have to, you'll probably just have to have a wrestling match with these kids now. Mm-mm. But the kids do need some type of discipline, y'all. They still need some type of discipline. I don't know what Donald Trump, I don't know what he's trying to do, but he's trying to put, hey, Mona, how are you doing? Good to see you. And thank all y'all for supporting. I appreciate y'all so much. We're talking about today, do you think the school should put paddling bike in school? I'm going to read y'all opinions now down in the chat. I I think kids, let's see what Mom Angie said. Angie said, I think kids need it at home, but they would have to use it in jail. You think so? So all the parents and then ones that are not parents, what kind of disciplines right now, in this day right now, in 2025, what do y'all think the children need to do? What do y'all think, what kind of punishment the kids need to have in this days now? They saying like they should bring discipline back because of the violence and the school rate, how things have went up since they stopped paddling. They trying to say, in other words, kids got better because they don't whoop them in school. And then some children, if you try to whoop them at home, they'll call the police on you. So my question is, what do you suggest people need to do with their children? Do you just let them do what they want, or you find a way? You got to have some kind of discipline for your kids. You cannot let your children disrespect you. And then when you get out in public, they try and then they go embarrass you, you're gonna be looking all crazy because they already like they know that to mess with me. I'm gonna call the police. And that's the worst thing. That is the worst thing they could have ever stopped. And trying to let these kids think that whooping is abusing them, because it's not. Now I know some parents do some abuse. I know some people do abuse their kids, right? But I'm just saying, for the ones that have to let their kids know, look, we're not going to tolerate this. It starts at home, guys. If you teach your children at home, when they go out in public, they should know how to act. But I'm just saying, hey, Sassy, how you doing? Good to see y'all. Sassy, girl, I was just tapping yesterday. I was trying to send it to my daughter, and your name right up under my daughter's name. But you're an honest person, cause I'm telling you, I did that one time to somebody else, and I told my daughter, I don't know, I was talking to my brother yesterday, and I was trying to tap my cash out. I gotta be more careful, cause a lot of people would have sent me my money back, or somebody did me like that before. I had to keep on telling the girl, I said, look, I made a mistake and sent you a cash out. Could you send it back to me? She was just giving me all the runaround, but she finally did. But you are an honest person. You could have kept that money. Go, that was my light bill money. But you are an honest person. Thank you for returning it back. Because I wouldn't do nobody like that. If I know nobody want to intend to send me that kind of money, I know I'm going to send it back to them. You don't take from people because your blessing will be short. So thank you, Sassy. I really, Sassy probably said, oh, Georgia, she must have made a mistake and sent me that money. I was trying to send the money to my daughter to pay my light bill, girl. But thank you again. But we're talking about today. Do y'all think the kids should be uh, paddle bike in school, or what kind of discipline do you think they should get? You know, a lot of like the smaller kids, they put them in timeout. You know, like they'll keep them from being on recess, or they won't let them be on the computer. Cause at my little granddaughter's school, Booster School, when they get in trouble, they don't play on the computer. They don't go outside to recess, and like if they be doing like little parties and stuff like that. That's how they discipline those kids. They don't spank up here in Georgia, far as I know now. So let me see. Andrew said, I think kids need it at home, but they will have to have us in jail. Yeah, that's true. But still, though, we gotta, cause we don't discipline our kids, they gonna try to whoop you. Okay, kids will fight their parents too. Yeah, I'm joining troopers next week. Okay, but whenever you get ready, sweetie, don't put yourself in no bind now. Mm. Georgia girl, what did she say? I said before, my third grade teacher, Miss Shirley and Price, had stayed on my butt so much it became a part of my anatomy. She whooped me all the way to the honor society. Okay, see that's what I'm saying. Sometimes, like, be honest now, y'all. For the ones in the chat that were grown up getting whoopings. In a way, we know we didn't want to get whoopings, but aren't you glad that your parent was kind of like tough on you? Like Terry said, his teacher, right? His teacher, he got his whoopings, but it was because she wanted him to go further in life. So aren't y'all glad of the way that your parents did discipline you the way they did? Cause look at you the way you turned out. In other words, see what I'm saying? You could tell a lot of children are not getting disciplined now because the way how they act in public. You could tell. Cause I tell Booster know I'll pop her in a minute. I'll pop her in a minute. Even my older kids, I let them know you ain't gonna talk to me any kind of way and stuff like that. You got to know where to draw the line at with these children. And for us to school, I mean, when my son, see, they stopped doing it, I think in 2012, 2013. I'm trying to find out what year they stopped whipping. But when my son came up in school, I don't think he got no. I think they had to stop by then. Yeah. It's the parent. Yeah. See, now they got it in their head. The children are so got it in their head. Ain't my mom and dad ain't gonna mess with me. Cause they already know they touch me, I'm going to jail. But so any parents in the chat with children, so y'all discipline y'all kids, or do y'all punish them, or what type of punishment, or what type of things that y'all do for y'all kids when they everything start from home. Exactly. I'm good, Mona. Okay, good to see you, Mona. Uh, so much, yeah, yeah. Terry had a good testimony. We had a rocket start, but we got it. We got that speaker running right. Okay. Oh, Sassy laughing at me. I'm trying to reach y'all comments. That's right. I wouldn't do nobody like that, Sassy, but somebody did do me like that. That's what my daughter said, Mom, you better be careful what you doing. I think parents should raise their children. Hey, living for Jesus, how are you doing? So the question was I was asking was, do y'all think they should put paddling back in school? And do y'all do what kind of discipline do y'all do for y'all children at home? Do y'all like punish them? Do y'all whip them? Or y'all just let them go raggedy? I know y'all don't. Living for Jesus, I know she punished those girls because she have said in the chat what she be doing to her girls. So what are some of the things that y'all think um probably would work? You know, like I said, my grandkids, they get punished and then they'll get popped too now. They will get popped. We'll tell them where to quit now. We'll tell them right quick. I don't care what kind of laws they might say they have about. You ain't gonna let no child hit you. You ain't gonna let your child disrespect you. You gotta have some rules somewhere. And you gotta have some discipline. So people are letting phones and iPads raise their children. Woo, you're right. You are so right. But how many of y'all used to get whooped with one of them? Do y'all see that back there? And they got this thing for sale at, you know how much this thing real call, y'all? $145. Who gonna put $145 in something like that? Shoot, my mom used to go out there and get them switches. Well, she would tell us to go out there and get the switches and put them together. She'll twist them up and go to work. And I was telling my granddaughter, y'all, as I was telling my granddaughter one day about the switch, she said, my girl, what is a switch? My granddaughter asked me, what is a switch? I said, go ahead and ask your mama, because I used to whoop your mama with a switch. See, this generation don't know that about no switches. Some of them don't even know that about a power. And then, like Frey said, some of these parents have to be boxing with the children, fighting with the children. Ain't nobody got time for that. Who got time for that? Mm-mm. Mm. And I'm misbehaving, but enjoy the chat. Okay, Sassy said, that sad thing about it, if you tell the kid parents, they get mad right at you for telling on the kids. I'm glad I was raised in a village. Amen. That's what I'm saying. Aren't y'all glad that y'all was raised the way y'all was raised and that whipping was in a part of your childhood? You know, like sometimes when you being did bad at, like for instance, when you be at church, you know you're supposed to act good in church. You don't supposed to act up in church. You know how some churches just like Living with Jesus said they be in there with their iPhones and their phones being so disrespectful in the chat in the church and stuff. They used to make a noise. Then you have to walk out the church to hold your hand and take them out. My mom used to get us right there. My mom used to whoop us right in the store or anywhere. Anywhere, if we do wrong, she was going to pop us right there. Now you got to try to go outside the church. You got to go out of the, like if you had a concert or maybe you had a dinner or something like that. You have to take the child, probably go in the bathroom with them because you don't want to, cause no type of confrontation or confusion at the restaurant. But honey, my mama didn't care. Wherever you did wrong at, that's where you got that whooping at. You see what I'm saying? But now, I love being a 70s and 80s boy. All right, girl. Me too. Yes, my parents whooped me if needed. Yeah. Yeah. Monica, I'm glad now that mom and dad discipline us because it taught. That's what I'm saying. Aren't y'all glad that y'all parents, I know back then I felt like my mom was killing me, y'all. But I knew I was being bad sometimes. I'm not saying I was a bad child, but like When it was time and I got in trouble about stuff or something that I didn't do right, she did discipline us. You know what I'm saying? And my brothers used to fight all the time. So when the school would say, well, this is such person did this, we had to get them for this. When they got in trouble at school, my mama got them at home. So you couldn't say you didn't do it because once you get in trouble at school, they're gonna call your parent. Especially back then, you were either gonna have a paper saying that we had to whoop your child today, or they had started getting like the school suspension, right? We had like a room to go to, because sometimes they used to like tell us that, well, we're gonna sit you in this school suspension for like 2 days. I guess if you do it again, you're going to get a whooping. And then the next thing, you're going to go home. So there are ways that they can discipline the kids now. But it done gone on for so many years. You try to get a pat out these kids now, some of them might kill you. Because some of them have guns on them, knives, and everything. I don't trust this generation now when it comes down to trying to whoop them in school. You see they pulling out guns, shooting up the school. Go ahead now, try to whoop them kids with a paddle. I told my teenager that the day she hit me is the day she meet Jesus. Girl, you better say it. And the person I send her, you right. Jesus, the person I sent her to him. You right now. So So do y'all think they need to start by disciplining kids? I was trying to read what Trump up to. He's trying to get some type of order going on for the school system now. I don't know if he's trying to bring the whipping back or he's trying to enforce a harder discipline. I'm gonna read some more about it, but they've been stopped whooping children. But some states are still doing it, and some parents are suing. Let me see. I know Georgia, they don't do it. What about in y'all area? I know they just stopped whooping probably in a lot of states, but there are still some states that are doing it. I think they stopped doing it back in 2012. I think they said when I'm finna read now. When Obama came in office, cause that's what Trump trying to do now. He's trying to go back and rewrite whatever Obama had did for the schools. Those kids that went years without that type of punishment, I don't think they should bring it back. But they should be disciplined though. I'm not saying if my child do wrong, cause I know when my son was coming up in school, they had stopped whipping. Whenever my son get in trouble, I would get a call. I already knew when I was on my job. They would say, Miss Moore, you need to come to the office, the school call. Well, y'all already know my last name. And I was like, it ain't nobody but my son. He out there acting a clown. Talking about he a chicken king. He out there trying. That boy was getting on my nerves so bad. I'm like, look, I'm trying to work and have money for you to have stuff for school and live. You out here being a monkey at school. So they called me. I had to go out to the school at least 2 or 3 times for my son. He just stayed in the store. He wanted to be a class clown. That's what he wanted to be. And he couldn't say he didn't do it because that's when they was having cameras in the hallway. And they said, we can let you see the camera, how he out here in the hallway doing all kind of stuff. I'm like, boy, what's wrong with you? And we whooped him for that. I told him, you don't go at that school acting like you ain't got no sense. You know? That was like, years ago. Because my son is 27 now. And so that's been going on for a while, y'all. They had stopped whooping for years. So, but you right, living for Jesus. I'm trying to see y'all comments. I can't really see them on this phone. I think I'm going to have to go to my computer. Hey, Miss Key, how you doing? Good to see you. We're talking about, I had to refresh and see the comments because I couldn't see the comments. We're talking about, do y'all think They should bring whooping back in the classroom. And happy new month, everybody. We're in the month of May. We're going to start our challenges back up the 1st of June. Me and Miss Key already did a blueprint of it. We're going to share the link next week. Y'all can know ahead of time what kind of challenges we're going to have going on. And thanks again to the ones that I got to put y'all, the ones that joined my membership yesterday. I got to let Nightbox drop your channel. Let's see, mine waited till they got, I just said mine waited till they got to us home. They didn't believe in doing discipline in public. Oh, for real? Kids don't know. My granddaughter to my, what is a switch? I said, ask your mom. Frank said kids have fallen in school, church, and in the and in the restaurant, everywhere. My dad, he just fussed. He didn't whoop us. For real, Sassy? Wow. I get the belt, shoe, pitch, anything. My mom picked up. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But my mom ain't never had that one of them. But she did have those switches with those knots on them. What kind of switch those was, y'all? Those switches with those switches would had the knots on them. Them things will whip you up. I was like, Mom, look. I be like, Mom, you whipped me up. She said, you gonna be all right. That's how you know somebody being got a whipping with a switch, because you gonna whip up. Boy, I tell you, when they get you whipping so bad, you get the, they got you. Boy, I tell you, I had my whippings, but I thank my mom. Miss Key, I see y'all saying Miss Key. Okay, I see. Hey, Miss Key, how you doing? She's bouncing like everybody. Y'all make sure y'all connect with her, and she's still working on her hours also. So we're going to try to continue to help her. Anybody that's trying to get monetized or trying to get back monetized, we're going to continue to support everybody. Watch their videos or live stream. Let's help everybody. Watch some of their playlists. Let's help everybody get what they need to get. Because I do appreciate everybody who was helping me over here. It wasn't an easy journey, but I kept on. I said, Lord, whatever's your will. And you know, the only thing now I'm just trying to maintain. What else y'all was talking about? School discipline in this here in the 70s. Yeah, I was trying to see when did it end in Georgia. I think it was in 2012 or 13. I'm trying to look it up. But they said that Obama had wrote, when Obama was in office, he had wrote some type of letter because, you know, it seemed that it's kind of like it was kind of beginning to be racial. But they were saying like some schools would say more blacks were getting punished than whites and stuff like that. You know, everything don't have to be racially bound. You know what I'm saying? Cause I feel like if a child, now I'm just gonna say this, I'm not gonna hold my child up if they doing wrong. You hear what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna let nobody mistreat my child either. Now, if you say you gonna spank my child, spank them, but don't choke them. Don't choke them. Don't beat them well, like like that man you say, I don't know, that was a good time or whatever. I'm gonna whoop you till you see the white meat. Don't whoop no child till you see no white meat. Now, you whoop a child like that, that is abuse. Like I said, my mama whooped me, but she ain't know I ain't never had none of my meat hanging off. Now some people do abuse their kids. Some of them do, y'all. They I don't know. Some of them whoop them like they crazy, but you know, I think something be going on when they start being like that. It is some weak parents these days. It is not many strong parents these. Yeah, cause you know, like Living with Jesus had said one time, A lot of the parents want to be the kids' friends. I'm close with my children. Me and my daughter, we like this. Me and my son, we close. But they know I'm the mama. You see what I'm saying? It's good to have a relationship with your kids, but you gotta let them know who's the boss. You know what I'm saying? There's a time and place for everything. I'm just reading y'all. My son is 27. Oh, your son 27 too? Okay. All right, Sassy. You doing, Miss Keisha? She doing okay? We was taking May. Well, we were taking the rest of May, and just making sure we good with our health and other things we got to take care. Everybody get everything lined up. But what that is abuse these days, whipping. That what they saying. Palling with message is okay. Whipping with no message isn't okay. My third grade teacher, Shirley Ann Price, patted me with love. She was saying, I know you can do better. She's great. That's what I'm saying. Somehow a discipline helped us. Like I was telling my son, you ain't got no business out there acting like no clown. Some kids try to fit in with other children. That's a lot of them be on peer pressure, and they try to be around, and it be some kids be calling themselves the popular kids, and y'all know what y'all have been to school. Y'all know how it be. But yeah, but I can remember when my teacher, I can remember my first grade teacher. That thing used to hurt. Them little thing right there. Them little pallets right there. Them little rulers. Them little rulers sting, y'all. Because she used to bend my hand like that. Her name was Miss Thornton. She was my first grade teacher. She was also my Sunday school teacher. Honey, either way I went around, I couldn't get away from Miss Thornton. She, oh, she used to take my hand and bend it like that, y'all. And get that ruler. Them little joker hurt. Any of y'all had got spanking with one of those? Well, it was back in like 80s. This in the 80s right here now. Cause I finished school in 87. So it was like 7-ish, 8-ish. Yeah. I can remember when strangers were allowed to clip your ear. What? They clipped your ear? Who did that? But they said, I was reading here. They said to understand current landscape, school discipline is essential to look back at history of corporal punishment and education. For centuries, physical punishment was considered an accepted method of discipline in school across the globe. Early corporal punishment was paddling, strapping. I don't know about no strapping now. They said some people used to strap kids, like using a leather strap to hit students. What? Anybody got hit with a strap? Wow. I didn't know they was doing that. I'm reading this right here. I guess some schools had the little leather thing. Y'all know what I'm talking about? I don't have a picture, but I'm just reading. They said using a leather strap to hit students as a form of punishment, and canning, a method using what? This right here called canning. Anybody? This right here was going on in a British school involving flexible cane. What? Oh my God! I'm glad they did stop all that. They were trying to kill somebody. They said some schools were using leather straps. Some were using a cane. Like the cane what you walk with? Really? Like the cane I got, they were hitting kids with that. Now that ain't nothing but abuse right there now. This was in British. Y'all ever heard of that, Angela? I know y'all stay like in different parts of the country. What type of the movie? For real? The movie Angie Gina. So Angie, what you said they stopped doing punishment in the 70s, right? So what type of things they were using? Now this in British. Let somebody come hit my child with a cane or leather strap. I call the police on them. And I was looking at TikTok the other day, and one lady was going off on Trump. So I let Trump bring whooping back if he want him. Talking about what all they gonna do and what the children gonna do. Talking about they gonna go down to the school. I don't think they gonna. I don't know. I think they gonna find another kind of way. Hey Marie, how you doing? Good to see you. We was talking about do you think they should bring paddling back in school? And I was asking people that y'all remember getting whooped with a paddle or ruler. My first grade teacher used to whoop me with with one of these behind my back. She used to bend my hand and whew. And my mom used to whoop me with a belt or a switch, but she never used the cane and she never used the leather strap. So some kids have said their teachers have abused them. So what you think about that, Marie? Do you think they should bring whooping back, or should they have some type of you know, they should have some type of punishment if they don't bring this spanking back. At least let the kids know, look, we're this your class. You're not going to interrupt the class. You got to have some type, they suspend some. They take some on phones and computers and things like that. But if they come down to smacking your kids, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I think when they do that, they're going to have a serious problem on their hand. Because these kids these days, they're not going to allow nobody to hit them. No. You see they already coming in school with guns and stuff now. Let them start by trying to whoop these kids. Ain't no telling what these children to pull out on these teachers. So I don't agree with them bringing it back. But I do agree with parents discipline their children. Like I tell my grandkid, y'all will get popped now. And they need to change that because of the fact that these kids feel like they can't get disciplined. Because they think if their parents were to whoop them, they can call the police on them. They should have never put that where those kids can do that. Because they letting it go to their head. That, look, I ain't worried. My mom ain't going to do that. I'm going to call child support. I'm going to call child services. They'll holler that in a minute. But I was brought up being disciplined. And I'm glad my mom did discipline me. And I turned out to be the person I am, you know. And I did. And then I punished my kids. When they did something wrong, I let them know. Me and my husband let them know, look, we ain't going to tolerate this. You can still be a parent and still have fun with your kids, but you just can't be no friend to your children and feel like they can just, do what they want. Can't let them think they can do what they want now. Like I said, I like the close relationship with me and my children, but they do know I'm the parent. They know that. So that's what I was talking about today. That I know I was trying to read what Trump trying to do. Let me read what they said. Trump and school discipline. He signed some orders about school discipline the other day, but I don't know what all the orders were saying. But I just know it said something about doing discipline in school. I don't know if they trying to bring the paddling back or because they said that the violence have increased since the kids had stopped getting spankings. So I don't know. I guess they looking at each state and seeing what the since they stopped the spanking. I guess they looking at the numbers to see what states and stuff like that. But it's okay to if the kids do wrong, yes, punish them, but don't Don't go in be in a boxing match with them. Don't be wrestling and fighting with them. So I'm finna read what Trump said about school discipline. Hope everybody's having a great day. Y'all don't forget to check each other out. We got some awesome creators in the chat. Check out Marie Holiday, Frank, Miss Key, Sassy, Angie, she be doing her shorts. Terry, he been working on his channel. Y'all make sure y'all support each other all the way around the board. Trying to see what they said. So, like I said, I done had my share of spankings and palling. I used to hate to go to Mr. Webb's office. Mr. Webb used to, they know they used to call that man like he was in the Wild Wild West. He used to wear them boots and that black leather jacket. And he had that big old thick paddle. Woo. I think I used to cry for I even go to I started crying before I even go to the office. Because I already know I couldn't stand to get no powder, y'all. Some of those boys had started being smart. They had started wearing them 2 pair of pants. So you still would feel it unless you wear like a 2 or 3 pair of pants. But so y'all thank y'all parents. Y'all thank y'all parents for the ones that did discipline you. You know, they wasn't trying to abuse you or anything. They just wanted you to know, look, it was making you tough. It was making you, get prepared for the world because, and then if you got children, you have to tell your kids, look, this is what my parents used to do to me, but things have changed. Things have changed. You don't catch too many people whipping their kids now. I don't know if it's by choice or maybe because they holler abuse, but you have to have some type of form of punishment. For the parents in the chat that got small kids or when y'all had children, did y'all punish y'all kids? Did y'all whoop them? What did y'all do? Did y'all put them on timeout? Did y'all take their phones? We punish our kids and then we do get on them. Hey, pre-retirement, how you done? It's the other way around. They are fighting parents. Yes, the children are fighting parents. Some of these parents are scared of these children these days. See, that's what I'm saying because they feel like they don't get this. Hey, Ruth, how you doing? Good to see you. There go some of my members coming in the chat. Thank y'all for joining my membership, rejoining. I appreciate you, Ruthie. I see you was live earlier. I had popped in now, but I didn't see you, but I saw you were live. I'm talking about, do y'all think they should bring paddling back in school? Or what type of discipline y'all would suggest they should do? Because we was just saying the way how things is now, these kids ain't gonna let these teachers whoop them. If anything, they gonna whoop them teachers. I guess they trying to figure out a way to, because they saying the violence have raised up a little bit. The violence of the school area have raised up because the kids are not getting disciplined. So Donald Trump signed some kind of order the other day. I'm trying to see what is it about. Donald Trump in schools. I don't know if he's trying to enforce the spanking back or he signed something concerning the school. One thing, we have kids going to school. We should tell our children, regardless if they don't like their teacher or not, they still have to respect their teacher, y'all. If your teacher tell you that you can't do this or that, you still got to respect your teacher. You can't jump up and want to knock the woman out because she say, look, you can't go outside today because you didn't do your work. You can't get mad because you did not do what you're supposed to do. And then some parents, like somebody had said a while ago, when you try to tell parents of what their kids be doing, they get mad with you. But that one thing out as a parent, if my child, if my child is wrong, I'm not gonna uphold them. Then that's what we mess up at. If your child did something wrong, and then that's what a lot of parents do too. Instead of them trying to help the solution, they make things worse. So they'll get involved and you want to jump on other folks' children because their children involved in something. A lot of parents do that. Somebody got to be the grown up. You can't go to the school and jump on somebody else's child because he messed with your child. Somebody got to be the grown up. You can't do that. You can't do that. But it happens though. Boy, when the summertime come, I used to be hating like in my area. When summertime came, you could tell it was summertime because kids be fighting. Kids in the neighborhood, they be bringing up stuff that had happened at school. They all get together out there on the softball field. Because we used to have ball games and all types of stuff during the summertime. You know, it was fun because I used to play and stuff. And then some would get mad. Then here come the mama coming across the field. Instead of the parents trying to stop the fight, they end up trying to whoop other people's kids. And then that would make the parent want to get involved. So you can't do that as a parent. You can't be out there cutting the food, call your children. Somebody gotta be the grown up. But it happened. They did that a lot back in the 80s. You be seeing the parents fighting just as much as the children. Right here they say I'm gonna read this right here. But it's good to see everybody. But that's what I was talking about today. Because school about to get ready to get out, guys. And we know that some kids, some might go to summer school, some might have summer jobs, and some might just do like, just be at home. You know, we got to talk to our children. Because like I always used to tell my kids, trouble is easy to get into, but hard to get out of. You know how sometimes when the kids be out for the summer, some be saying it's boring, ain't nothing to do. But you can find you something to do. Just don't do nothing you ain't got no business doing. I used to tell my son. My son was coming up. He was all into music and entertainment, stuff like that. And yeah, my son is an entrepreneur. He got some products. Me and him, when he finished doing his lineup, he gonna be on live, and I'm gonna show y'all some of my son's products. This is some stuff for wellness also. So there's some stuff I got coming up on the channel. So y'all make sure y'all stay tuned in. But Trump seeks to reshape how school discipline students. Okay. I'm going to see what he's trying to do. Do y'all remember doing this right here? Hold on. I'm going to show y'all this right here. We used to do this too. When we, this one of the things my teacher used to make us do right here. Write all them things 100 times. How many of y'all used to do that? Hold on. I'm going to show y'all 1 minute. They would tell us to write. How many of y'all remember doing this right here? They used to have you write this down so many times on a piece of paper. There was a type of form of, I can't see it in chat if anybody in the chat. Trying to refresh. How many of y'all remember doing it? How many of y'all doing that? I remember I used to have to write this thing 100 times. Or 50 times. He was like, said it right the same thing over and over and over. I did mine on the chart, boy. You remember that? See, this was a type of punishment right here. I wonder, do they still do that now? I don't know. So this kind of like Throwback Thursday too. I remember that. Then they used to have you sitting in the corner. They'll put you in the corner. They'll tell you can't go out for recess. They'll tell you quick. You didn't pass your test. And see, those are just some of the things that they was doing for discipline. But shoot. I don't think they doing that now. Do you think they doing that now, Sassy? They said the Trump administration is trying to reshape how school discipline students and after the federal government role in the process. So on April 23rd, President Donald Trump issued an executive order suggesting schools have been using racially discriminatory discipline policy. It sets in motion new federal guidance that would reverse policies supported by the Obama and Biden administration aimed at reducing racial disparities in how black children and other students of color are disciplined in school. See, that's what they said. Um, they had stopped the paddling and discipline because they were saying it seemed like more black kids were getting more punishment than white kids. So, it's a big racial thing about it. So it seems like Donald Trump is trying to undermine what Biden and which he's been doing all since he's been in office. He's trying to undermine some of the policies that they put out. So he's trying to do something, honey. And they said I believe the order could have far-reaching consequences and is likely to prompt back pushback and legal challenges at the researchers who student school discipline. I can't explain why this is happening and what it means to school and student. Wow. He's trying to put some orders in, y'all. I don't know if it's going to help the kids or is it going to hurt them. You see what I'm saying? So he signed something on the 25th of this month concerning discipline. So I guess we'll know. Like I said, school is starting. Some schools are going out this month. They're starting to. I think my kids, grandkids, get out the 25th, and they'll be out till August. So they probably gonna have some new rules when they go back. So this has a local control, federal influence. School discipline has historically been locally controlled through federal law mandate. A few discipline responses such as expulsive possessing firearms. School boards create codes of conduct. School principals and teachers make and enforce rule. However, federal guidance over the past decade has increasingly shaped these local decisions. Wow. Hey, Sirius, how you doing? We're talking about, do you think they should bring paddling back into school? Donald Trump is trying some type of order on the 25th trying to reshape uh, discipline in school. I'm doing great. I'm hanging in there. I had went by the funeral home. I seen my uncle. I cried. I shed a few tears. I'm going to try to make it to the funeral after my appointment if I don't get back too late. I just went in. He just laying there so peacefully. He's in no more pain. And that's what I did today. Just been with family most of the day. Because they have my uncle's funeral tomorrow. And I had sought this up to talk about, do you think they should bring paddling and things like that back in school? I think corporal punishment is offensive. You all agree? Okay, that's what I said too. I mean, there are ways they can punish the kids. There are ways they can discipline them without going through all of that. Cause like we were saying in the chat, these days these kids are fighting back. They fighting back. They calling the police on you. Did you ever get spankings in school? Or they had to stop when you was in school, serious. Cause they had stopped doing this a few years ago. So see, when I was in school, they were still spanking. So I'm just showing right here about the things reason they're trying to enforce some discipline. Because, children coming to school with firearms and all that stuff. So they said in 2014, for example, the United States Department of Education and the Justice issued guidance to reduce racial disparities in school discipline. The Obama era letter suggests that higher rates discipline for racial minorities could be evidence of discrimination. The guidance signal how the U.S. Department of Education would interpret federal law and what might cause the federal investigation. Oh, really? See, when Obama was in president, he put out a order. I guess that when they stopped doing spanking in school, now he's trying to undermine what the policy they have put in, Lord. So I'm not sure what all he's trying to do. I don't know if it's going to help our kids or hurt our kids. So they say in the following years, schools reduced suspension and adopted alternatives such as retroactive practice, which focus on talking through and repairing harm instead of removing students from classroom. But some people saw this as weakening of school discipline. Politicians and policy advocates even claimed that these changes in discipline contribute to school shooting. Really? Wow. So they try to say the current way that they're disciplining kids is causing more harm, like causing more kids to bring guns to school and stuff like that. Even though the guidance was rescinded during the first Trump administration, the federal government continued to investigate the disparities in discipline. And without attorney guidance, many schools continue to practice guided by. He tried to change Obama policies, and that's what they've been going by all these years. But Trump saying they increasing like violence. That's why children bring guns to school. I know when I was going to school, they had alternative schools, and I think they had that when my daughter was going too. But they had stopped spanking a couple of years after my daughter finished, because we were still getting spankings. Okay. See, that's what it is. Anything, and like I said, I'm not into politics, but I does like to, if I see something I would want to talk about, and this right here just draw it to my attention about, because this concern our children. Because our children go to school every day, and we don't want our children to get mistreated, but we don't want to uphold our kids if they're doing wrong either. You see what I'm saying? If our kids are doing wrong, yes, have a proper discipline for them. If parents don't want their children to get spanked, don't whoop these people's children. And then, like they said, with these children these days, these children fighting back. So they said in return, the school after COVID-19 shutdown. However, schools grapple with reports of increasing student behavior. Nationally, almost 9 in 10 principals reported negative effects of the pandemic of Lord. They said when they had that pandemic, when the kid went back to school. I know one thing. I was so glad when them children went back to school. I know that. When them kids was out for the pandemic, I was so glad when they went back. They were eating up everything. They didn't never want to go to bed. They want to stay up all night. I'd be glad when y'all get out quarantine. And then some people don't even let their children go to school. They decide just to keep them at home. And they were saying something about Trump trying to start the virtual school back. I'm like, for what? Let them children go to school. I guess they try to figure out a way to stop all the violence, I guess. So, let's see what they say. What Trump executive order does. Trump new executive order set the stage for further federal influence over discipline policies and practice. Here's a breakdown of what it contains. So I'm going to read what his policy, he signed this on the 25th. This is what the current administration is trying to take to Congress about our children and how they should be disciplined. The first executive order states that schools should no longer focus on differences in race or discipline across subgroup. It contends that doing so has led schools failing to report incident and making decisions based on students' race rather than their objective facts. Next, the executive order calls on the Secretary of Education to develop new school discipline guidance for the states and schools. It is also called for a Secretary of Education and Attorney General to work with the state leaders to reshape how their states can prevent racial discrimination and discipline. Okay? They're trying to make sure they got to be fair all the way around the board. If you're going to do it for one child, if one child going to get disciplined, the other child have to get disciplined too. It shouldn't be a racial thing. It shouldn't be a racial thing. Okay, Ruthie, good to see you. And thank you again. Thank you, Sears. Thank y'all, my Georgia troopers. Thank y'all for becoming members. We're going to be doing some things together, members. I want us to have a girls. We're going to do it in a members live. We're going to have us a girl night. Just girl talk, some whatever you want to drink. We could probably, I probably can put a movie on. That's going to be members only. Probably can do, we're going to be doing some girl stuff. Georgia Girl Pandemic had parents ready to pay. I ain't joking. I mean, I was so glad when them kids went back to school. Because every time I look around, every time get on camera, every time looked around, we stayed at the grocery store, y'all. We stayed at the grocery store when they had the pandemic. I mean, goodness. We stayed at that store. And I'm like, some gotta give him. Hey, y'all. And that's what we're talking about today, paddling and what should they do and things like that. But like I said, so Trump has signed an order, y'all. I don't know if it's going to help our kids or it's going to hurt. I was just reading some of the order he had put in. And this concerns our babies, y'all. Yeah, that pandemic, boy, I tell you, it was rough. When nobody going to no hair salon, when nobody getting their nails done, everybody was growing hair and nails and beards, and it was couldn't go to no restaurant. You had to cook your own food. They were giving us free food stuff, and he give us some now. Time hard now, and he give us some. So I was just finna read what Trump was saying. He like, this is his order. I'm finna read it. It said, but in the coming months, the executive order promised to increase federal influence over school discipline. The full scope of impact is not yet clear. However, it is reasonable to expect that just like other contest issues in education, there will be legal challenges and pushback in some. See, everything they suggested, they got to take it through Congress. In short, the common sense discipline reforms called for the executive order are unlikely to be seen as common sense for everyone. Okay. So he got some type of order going on. I guess he's trying to have it where all schools, if you're going to discipline the school, it's not going to be racial. Because they were saying some schools were saying more blacks were getting disciplined than white. So I don't know. I just know one thing. I got my share. I had got my share of spanking in school. I'm going to go on YouTube. I can see the chat. Cause looking at y'all through the phone, I can see some of the comments. But everything, you have to be reasonable about everything. You have to be reasonable about everything. And it starts at home. You teach your kids at home. Look, you go to school, you might not like your teacher, you might not even like your subject, but you're there to learn. And tell them to behave, keep their hands to themselves, and they still have to respect the teacher, I had a couple teachers. How many people in the chat had a teacher you just couldn't I just couldn't pass. Well, I passed the class, but I didn't like typing, y'all. Did y'all have a subject in class? Or did y'all have a teacher who was so mean? My teacher name is Scotty. And she was my typing teacher. Ooh, and I didn't like my history teacher either. Uh-oh. When it came down to them tests, that bad. He didn't play. And if you didn't have that pass that test, they would discipline you for that. Either they'll give you more work, you had to take that test back over. But I didn't like typing because I never could type and not look at my fingers. You know, I was like, and she would say, no, don't look at your fingers. She would say, type F, E, and I'm still like, when I be typing on my computer, like I got my computer now, I still have to look at my fingers. I'm not no typer, y'all. That one class, my teacher was so mean. She was mean, but you know, I was able to pass the class. I got where I was able to get a little speed in typing. So I never did say I wanted to, work with computers when I was coming up. Sometimes I wished I had her. That's why now, when some of the stuff I don't know now, I had my kids. I tell you quick, I ain't computer savvy. If it's stuff I don't know, I'm going to ask questions. That's the best thing to do. If you don't know nothing, especially when it come down to these computers and stuff like that, ask questions, because I do. Especially because everything is basically, right now, it's computerized. And I think in the future, technology is going to take over. It already starting to do so right now. We can see that now, that technology is taking over. But I want to bring that to y'all. And like I said, I love interacting with the chat. When I'm not interacting with the chat, you can come on the panel. When I go through YouTube Direct, I just read y'all comments and stuff like that. But we got to have some discipline somewhere. You know, if we don't let them whoop them at school or discipline at school, you're going to have to discipline them at home. We can't let them just run around ragged. You know what I'm saying? We can't let the kids run around thinking, look, they got it going on. Oh, my mom and dad, they ain't going to do nothing because they ain't going to whoop us. They ain't going to whoop us no way because, look, they whoop us, we can get them for abuse. Like I said, my mama didn't play, honey. See, back then, they wasn't having that, but they was still calling child defects now. People are called defects on you in a minute. Especially if they feel like someone is mistreating a child. Shoot. You know, people do that anonymously now. You don't have to give your name or anything. Especially if you know how some people be like in those stores and you could. I know y'all and probably witnessed that too. How some people do their children in public, and now some parents do mistreat their kids now. You know, just like outside looking in, we don't know really the whole facts of behind stuff like that. But you know, we have known for people to abuse their kids, and that's why I was reading where some states being sued was getting sued because they was whipping people's children, but it was going beyond whipping. They was like really abusing them with those paddles and stuff. That's one reason why they took a lot of that out too. Cause they was having a mess. Parents were going to the school board reporting. Cause I know when my son got hurt playing football, I was taking it to the board because I felt like it should have been more done. When my son almost lost his leg, they kept telling me it wasn't the school fault because we signed for him to play sports. And yes, I did, but I didn't sign for my child to get hurt the way he did. And so I felt like his coach and them wasn't, we have to admit, we done been to school meetings and had to talk to our school teachers. Sometimes those teachers watch those students and sometimes they don't. And that was my son first time going out for football. He really didn't know a whole lot about football. He was so excited when he told me he was going out for football. Cause I know that he liked the basketball, but when he told me he wanted to play football, I'm like, what? I know you could get hurt in both sports, but after my son got messed up, and I thank God daily that my son can walk because they had gave up on my son. They had said he wasn't gonna be able to walk, and they were saying my son was gonna have a normal life after that accident. It almost took me out of here seeing my son, but my son was so strong. I have a strong son. He went through all of that. He wore a brace a whole year in school. He never would wear short pants. And a lot of people didn't even know my son had that thing on his foot. He just wore it, and then when he got ready to graduate, he was telling his classmates, and they was wondering why he didn't never go back out for sports because he couldn't play no more sports. But it ain't like he couldn't play. They just told him don't play no more since he had to have them surgeries. I mean, that was so devastating. And I'm glad I wasn't there. My son to my mama, you haven't seen like his kneecap. He tore his ACL, his MCL. He took all of that. All that was messed up in his knee. And his nerve in his knee got messed up. And it messed with his feet, where his feet couldn't stay. His feet always hung over. So what the doctor had to do is, I mean, that was a good surgeon. He fixed my son's leg. Now he stand, jump, he do all, but he don't play no hard sports, stuff like that. But I just thank God he was able to still enjoy his life. Playing sport got short because he couldn't get out there and do that no more. But other than that, he was great. And that been like about 8 years ago, I believe, when all that happened. Yep. But I think he was a strong boy though. I was the one breaking down. I was the one breaking down. So that's why I say, but I was mad at them teachers. I was mad at the teachers and the coach. And then we was stuck with the bill. The school didn't try to help us pay for my son when he went through. My son had to have 3 surgeries, y'all. The school had said they was gonna help with the expense of that. School didn't help me. I tried to get a lawyer because I wanted to sue the school. But they told me that I couldn't really sue him because we signed for him to play sports. But like I said, we didn't sign.
You got to take a day or you get it tomorrow?
Uh-uh. But I didn't sign for them for him to get hurt. That's why my grandson be out there playing. I'm like, uh-uh. But I know boys gonna be boys. Boys gonna be boys. I'm trying to see if I overlooked any comments. What happened? Hold on, y'all. But anyway, you guys, that's what I was talking about today. I want to thank everybody who did tune in. And show enough. Hey, show enough. Hey, show enough. How you doing? I didn't know you was in the chat. I couldn't really see on my phone who was in the chat, so I'm just strolling up. How you been doing? I think you've been over here before. Yeah. I think we already connected. I want to thank everybody, my members. Thank y'all for coming in. Y'all make sure y'all let's continue to keep supporting one another. Thank you, Frank. I see Frank was in here. Terry, Sirius, thank you. Ruthie, Mona, Miss Key, who else? Trying to make sure I'm not overlooking nobody. But yes, honey. Mona, Marie, pre-retirement, thank you for coming in. But yeah, some of the things that our parents did when we was coming up, some of the things they was trying to teach us, we're probably glad that we was there and listening. All the stuff that our parents went through, some of us going through it now too. I mean, just life. It's just one of those things. But we just continue to To continue to keep the faith, and like I said, force the school discipline. There are ways they can discipline the kids, and they can find a way. If parents don't want their children to get whooped, don't whoop them people's children. I'm just saying, don't whoop them. Cause like I said, I had to sign for my kids to get whooped when they was getting whooped. I mean, it was still going on, but then when they stopped, I didn't let them. I signed and said no, because some of those teachers, I don't know. Like I said, I know my principal told me, whew, I used to hate to have to go to the office. hmm I got to put my other members in here. Sandra Clark, thank you for joining. Jules, I got to put y'all in the night box. That night box dropped y'all links. I'm gonna do that when I get off. I was trying to do it before I go live, but yeah. Ruth, how you been doing? So how do you? I know you're in the background, but what do you think about your children getting disciplined at school? Do you think they should start that back up? Cause like they said, they trying to figure out a way to start back disciplining the children. They thinking that by the children not getting disciplined, it making them, in other words, it's causing more violence in school because they're not getting corporal punishment. They're thinking that it's attracting them to turn their guns and stuff like that. I don't think. Mm-mm. I don't think that gonna work out. Cause the way these kids is now, they're not gonna allow that. But for us, the punishment like putting them in school suspension. That what we used to have, like school suspension. They'll, instead of sending you home, they'll put you in one of these rooms and be a teacher in there. They were all the bad. Well, look, a room for all the bad children. They had a room for all the bad children. They had to do their work. They still had to do their work. Still had to do their work. But they wasn't able to eat with their class. They was not able to be with their class. They had to stay in that room. They didn't never go and recess with them. It was just like that was the punishment. You know, they had to stay in there instead of sending them home for 3 days. They would stay in that room for 3 days or 4 days, and then if it gets so bad, now this how they punish the kids. Don't hit my kid. We'll be good. Detention is fine. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Um, because people ain't gonna play that. Ain't gonna. No. I think this how they do it up here at this school over here. They suspend them. If they, I think they get them so like they give them different offenses. Like they'll put them in this detention for a couple of days, and then if they continue to keep doing the same thing, they'll send them home. And then if they, you know, some kids, I'm just gonna tell you, some kids just be so outrageous, y'all. They have to suspend them for the whole school term. When they get like that, they'll try to put them in what they call that. They be trying to put them in that thing, the detention or boot camp. Then one of them places where they have to send those kids. What they call that? Some kind of boot camp. You know, they have to send them away for a couple of months or something like that because of their behavior. But that's what they mostly do out here. Like when the kids get to fight, they suspend them. But if they be like real violent, they might suspend them for the whole year. And like when they get like when the kids get into it on the bus, they suspend them on the bus. They can't ride no other school bus. You have to take your child to school. Um, that's what they basically just do here. I'm glad in a way they stopped doing the whooping too, cause especially with the generation it is now, these kids will beat you up, but you still should discipline your kids at home. Whether you whoop your children or not, still you should let your children know, look, you don't act this way at school. You don't act this way at church. You don't show out when every time you go somewhere. Like I said, when I was coming up, wherever I act up at, that's where I got hit at. Some churches be like, I already know I'm gonna get a whooping when I get home. Some parents would rather wait till they get home, but then some parents just didn't care. Pop to right there in that grocery store. Especially when you want to get in there and want to get the whining and act like you don't want to go get, like you can say, I want this, but I don't want that. Then you can't make up your mind what you want. Ooh. That's why when I go to the store, I be telling my grandkid, get one thing. I tell them, look, I tell them before we go in the store, I said, look, y'all get one thing and we coming out. Sometimes we end up standing there, I don't know how long. But I tell them right quick now, don't go in, don't come in showing out now. Y'all ain't gonna get nothing. Cause you really don't want to be in public doing that, but sometimes you have to. And one thing too, guys, too, a lot of people say a lot of people that children friend. It's okay to have fun with your kids, but still let them know who's the parent. I enjoy my children. We be having fun. We be going on vacation. We got a family vacation coming up pretty soon. And but still, they know who the parent is. Don't thankful second. They don't know. But yeah. But that's basically what I was talking about. We're in a new month. It's May, guys. Happy new month to everybody. Put it in the happy new month. Um, I got some awareness that I'll be sharing this month. A couple of things I'll be sharing. Mental health. I'll be talking about mental health. I'll be talking about blood pressure. And I also will be talking about safety. Like summer safety. The kids are finna get ready to get out for school. A lot of them want to go to the swimming pool or the lake or, I was watching the news where they had this family had a birthday party, but the little 3-year old got drowned. Why they wasn't watching that child? Children that small, you having a pool party. You got to keep your eyes on them. So the little 3-year old got in the water some kind of way. And the mom, when she was looking for her, she jumped in the pool and tried to save her, but it was too late. I'm telling y'all, I don't know how to swim. And I'm not finna get in no. Now, when I go to the beach, I'm at the shadow part. I just put my feet in, or I might sit right there at the edge. I'm not getting out there in that water because I don't know how to swim. And then when I be in the pool, I be in the little baby area. I sit right there on that little step. I ain't finna get out there knowing I can't swim. No way. So I'll be sharing some safety tips about that, and it'll be just for educational purpose. But yeah, and then like I said, in June we're gonna start by doing the challenges. We got 5 new challenges coming up. We got some different ones, and then some of the ones that I did. We just gonna take the rest of this month and just focus on some things that personal things that we've been having going on. Tomorrow I got an appointment, and I'm gonna try to make it to my uncle's funeral. I'm glad I was able to see him today. I hadn't seen him in a while because he had got sick and was in a nursing home. When I went to the funeral home today, he looked just like he just laying there asleep. Just brought back a lot of memories when I was a child. Yeah, we used to go to church with him. The girl brought that up today on Facebook, how all of us used to go to church and they used to make sure we ate. I don't care how many kids my auntie and other had, they gonna go by Burger King. If we didn't go nowhere, we were gonna go by Burger King. That was one of the places they would always stop and get them little hamburgers. Back then, the little hamburger were real cheap back then. Or Crystal. You go to Crystal, you can get about 6 or 7 little hamburgers, and they would make sure we get something to eat. Even though if it wasn't much, my uncle did make sure we ate. So I thank him for that. I think I had a pretty good childhood growing up with my brothers. I had 5 brothers. A lot of people talk about I could have been a tomboy, because I was brought up with boys. I don't have a sister, and they tried to make me tough. They really did. Cause that's all they want to do is wrestle. My brothers love that what do they call it? They love that WE. They love wrestling. But yeah, so that's what I basically wanted my commentary to be about today, about the paddling. Do y'all think it is some type of abuse? Because that's what a lot of states are saying. Why they glad that they did stop paddling in school, because some children was complaining, they was reporting about how they was getting whipped, and you can't just do people children like that. You can't do it. So you gotta respect people. You gotta respect people in that way. If they saying, "Look, my child is not gonna get no spanking," well, they gonna either have to go along with it and deal with it. So, and then some people want their children to get disciplined. I guess it all depends on the states you're living in. So we're gonna see. I'm gonna check on and see what the executive order is. What Trump is trying to do. I don't know if it's gonna help us or it's gonna hurt the kids. So from what I was reading, they trying to make sure it's not nothing racial, you know, and that's a good thing. Even though I did not vote for Trump. I did not vote for Trump, but he is the president, and I have said this. Regardless if he's the president, all of us is part of the United States, and he got to do right by everybody. You know what I'm saying? So I don't trying to see if anybody had anything else to say about the punishment. I don't know who's live now. Anybody else live? Miss Key probably gonna go live. Anybody else live, or anybody got anything they want someone to see? That was I know Ruth did a live earlier. I don't know if any other of my members did anything. I think Miss Key did a short. I think Samuel Clark had did something. I be trying to keep up with the members and what they been doing, because I want to make sure I put their work out there. Let them know how much I do appreciate them. Let's see, I got tomorrow. I'm gonna do that. Yeah. Saturday, I said I was gonna get me some nails done for Mother's Day. I'm just gonna get some tips. I'm not gonna get all that other stuff on it. I don't know. I might put a little glitter or something. Just checking my computer right quick. But this is a new month, guys. This is a new month. We are in the 5th month of 2025. Wow. These months are rolling by, y'all. These months are rolling by. It really is. They're rolling by. Before you know it, it'll be Christmas again. Once we get like 6 months in, once we get like 6 months in, y'all make sure y'all check out Marie Holiday. I think she's live now, or she was. Thank you, Marie, for coming in. I see you had shared one of my live. Thank you. I gotta go leave the comment. I was trying to see who was live. I'm just looking to see if anybody in the chat live. Y'all can go check out. Because I'm going to wrap this up in a few more minutes. And then the Lakers got put out last night. I just stopped watching the game. I said, they ain't going nowhere. They ain't going nowhere. Everybody want LeBron to retire. I see Eli. I'm going to go ahead and speak to him. I don't know if y'all know Eric. He's live. I'm going to go speak to him. Because he did come over and show me some love. And he's working on his watch hours too. He working on his watch hours. Miss Key working on hers. So let's show some support, guys. comment. Um, like I said, today is Thankful Thursday, Thoughtful Thursday, Throwback Thursday. And when I was talking about that spanking, it just brought back all kind of memories. Mm. My parents believed in disciplining us. You know, it was some times we got away with some stuff, but it was some times we didn't. Especially when it came down to our schoolwork, my mom, she wanted to make sure we pass and graduate, you know. She would tell us, y'all don't go to that school acting like that. Cause if your teacher called and say you did something wrong, or you did something at school, I'm gonna get you. And that's what she would do. She would make sure, cause we was there. School is a place where we supposed to learn actually. But you know, that was when I was in school. We had different things they was doing like drama plays and that we used to have talent shows. You know, there was a lot of stuff to keep the children involved. And see, now they got computers. They can get on their computers and do all kind of stuff. We had pep rallies and things. I think they still do pep rallies. 'Cause I heard my granddaughter talking about that. But yeah, we used to have pep rallies on Fridays, and well, nobody into the internet back then. Maybe some people had some cell phones. I think I had a little flip phone. I think I got it when I got out of school, I believe. And see now you can start getting your license early now, like 15. I think that you can be 15 to get your learning license now, I believe. I remember when I first learned how to drive. My husband, he taught me how to drive. And you don't like when you first starting to learn how to drive, you don't even want nobody to really say too much, cause you be like me already be nervous, thinking you doing something wrong. But I thought I was gonna never get that backing up when I first started driving. But I did get it. I can remember when I had went and got my license. I was so nervous with that lady, but I did pass. That's why I told my granddaughter she gonna get her nerve right when she get ready to go get her license. I just went over there and showed E some love. Cause he live. I'm trying to see if anybody else in the chat. I don't know if Nikita went live or not. I know she normally go about this time. I'm gonna go over there and I'm ready for the vacation. Well, it won't start. We won't go until July, but I'm ready. I like just going to the beach and just sitting back relaxing. Mother Day is coming up this month. Let me see if Nikki live. But yeah, that's what I just was basically just talking about. Should the school bring tanks back, paddling back? A lot of people in the chat say, and I agree with them. They should. They done went all these years and they had to spank those kids. Don't try to do it now because he's in office. Shoot. You don't go up there to that White House and get him. Do that what was said on TikTok. But let Trump have somebody with my child. Tell me what they were gonna come back and do. Like, ooh. Y'all know how black mamas we don't be caring. We don't be caring. We shoot. Supposed to cut the food in a minute. No, McKee ain't live yet. She probably gonna pop up probably about 9, something like that. Let's see what she did today. I was just checking out people's channels, seeing what they was doing today. But anyway, yes. Okay. Where she cook? Oh, that look good. Yes. Mm. I had got me some from Subway today. I got me I had got a wrap from Subway. Yeah, I'll be sharing some stuff about mental health this month. Cause May is mental health awareness. So I'll be sharing some things about that. I got an unboxing coming. I got my another snack box. I don't know. I might do it Saturday. Probably when I come back from getting my nails done. That's what I might do when I come back. But I was just trying to see did anybody do anything today. I'm sure Sassy probably walked today, or she probably put out some shorts. I was just trying to see who I was in the chat. I know Ruth had went live earlier. Y'all make sure y'all give her a thumb up and go to her channel. I'm just checking out some people that was in the chat, seeing what everybody was doing. Even though after you get monetized, you still have to still keep working, keeping your hours up, and um, gotta still keep doing your channel, working on your channel. So I had did an introduction video today. I don't know if y'all seen it. It was just showing like some of the things that I do over here. It just pretty much sums up what my channel about. Y'all could check that video out. And normally I would be putting out some inspiration every day. Just something to lift someone's spirit. But you never know. Um, Somebody might be going through something early in the morning. And I have had people say, I needed this right here. Sometimes it can be just something you post out here can lift somebody's spirits up. And that's what it's all about with me, trying to keep my spirits up and lift others up. So I'm about to. I didn't see nobody else live, so no Grandma Lynn was live earlier. Just checking out some.
Where you put it at?
What? It's on the table now.
Yeah.
No, it's on the table right now. It's on a white bag. I gotta go get my medicine too. They didn't have it ready when I went up there. But yeah, Knox was in here. Thanks, Knox, for stopping by. I didn't get a chance to I seen you when you came in here. Huh? To what? What you said? What you said? But anyway, I'm just messing with checking out some right quick. Well, about to end this right here. I do want to thank everybody who did come over. And like I said, this is, I like just doing like dialogues and shows like this, seeing what others' opinions and see how they feel about things, like especially the ones that got children, We don't want nobody to mistreat our kids, no matter who they are. But I always have said when my kid was in school or if they be with other people, I don't want to uphold them if they do wrong. I mean, I deal with them. You know how some people don't want you to whoop their kids or they don't want you to say something to their kids. That's just how people are. And, if you run into a parent like that don't want you, just tell the parents. You know how you have kids over to your house and they interact with your children, but then they want to act up. You just can't put your hand on other people's kids. Let the parent know, look, or just tell them just to stay away from your house. Because you start hitting on other people's children, they're going to get that parent involved. And like I said, people these days, they are not backing down. The parent being just as much stuff at the kids these days. I have seen it happen. I have seen how parents have left out their house and went across the field or went down the road to jump on another child because of children. You know, how children, like some children be children. You know what I'm saying? Some they fall out back today. Tomorrow, children be back together talking. Some children are like that, especially the smaller kids. The smaller kids, they don't. The older kids, nah, they'll hold grudges. But the old little kid, like my little grandbaby, age 6, she might be saying, that little girl ain't my friend no more. She might tell me that today. Then tomorrow, I'll be like, Booster, what the little girl did? We okay. 'Cause that's how children are. Some of them play right, some of them get back together and play again, and then some don't. And then some will go home telling their parents that this child did something to me, or that teacher did something to me. And they're going to get that parent started now. They're going to go to that school to find out what's going on. Because I remember somebody was picking at my son one time. And one of his cousins helped him. So they ended up suspending both of them. I forgot what it was. It was somebody picking at my son at one time. And that one thing about my son and my daughter the same way. Sometimes they they ain't so easy to, they'll take a lot. But you don't want to see them mad. You know what I'm saying? They kind of like me in a way. And I have gotten better over the years because when I was younger now, it didn't take much for somebody to tick me off. Hey, Albert. Wow. Good to see you. Where you been? Where you been, Albert? Good to see you. You been doing okay? I'm talking about when kids, do you think children should get disciplined in school? Do you think children should start by getting disciplined in school, or do you think they should just put them in timeout or detention, or maybe give them a couple days? Because we was just talking about these days, children are not allowing. They'll fight you back. I don't know how you are. I don't know what age group you're in. Do you remember getting spankings at school, or they wasn't doing that when you was going to school? They did it for years while I was going, but after the century, the new generation now, they don't know about no spankings in school because they cut it out. But I think they trying to bring it back, and a lot of parents ain't going for that. These children are fighting back. So they're thinking that if they bring back paddling and discipline in school, that'll cut down some of the violence, and that'll cut down children from bringing guns to school. That might make it worse. Because you start trying to whoop these kids, now these children probably pull something out on you. But it's good to see you, Albert. Good to see you. And happy May. Happy new month. Are you ready for some sunshine? Are you ready for the beach? I know a lot of people start taking, this month here, a lot of people probably getting ready to go on spring vacations or either summer vacation. Kids will be getting out for the school. Some kids graduating. I wish all the children success that are graduating this year. And I hope all of them have a safe summer. They'll get out up here probably, I think the 25th, I believe. They'll get out on the 25th. But yes, I was talking about should they bring spanking back. And like I said, I got my share of whipping. I got my share of whipping. My little first grade teacher and second grade teacher, they used to spank us with these little things right here. I'm being worked out of the store from Monday through Friday. Really? I miss you too. It's good to see you. I'm glad you ain't forgot about me. Did you used to get into spanking in class? Yeah, I'm just, like I said, back trying to put out commentary. I just got my monetization back. I had been working hard all year last year. Finally, I got it back. So I'm just trying to just maintain this channel and do what I can do. You know how that is. But yeah, that's what I was talking about today. How some kids, um, parents are suing some schools because they want to spank their children. They want to bring spanking back in school. And I was just talking about when I was coming up, my teacher used to spank me in my hand. I mean, that used to hurt because she used to bend it back. And I used to wonder, how in the world? She used to have my hand bent, and then it would be bent back. Then she take that paddle and do that. It was a ruler. That little thing that used to sting too. But people are not doing that now. This month, May, is almost over the school class because vacation. Yes, school is almost over with. Yeah, a lot of kids get out probably. I know my grandkids get out by the 25th, and they'll go back in August, I believe. And I was just saying they're trying to start by doing some discipline in school. You know, when they stop the paddling, they start like putting them in detention. They'll send them to a detention school, or they'll put them in boot camp or something like that. They finding alternatives that they can do besides whooping the children now. But some schools want to bring the whipping punishment back. I don't think they should, cause they ain't did it in so long. Why you want to bring it back now? But other than that, I've been maintained. I have my good and bad days, but God is good. Thank God for His grace and mercy. Yeah. I got a appointment tomorrow, and I'm gonna try to attend my uncle's funeral. My uncle had passed last week. I was able to go to the funeral on the day. I mean, I hadn't seen him in a while. He just looking there like he was asleep. Jesus, God bless his soul. The school class of students are getting graduation. Yeah, they graduate. I forgot what day they graduate down here, but it's coming up. It's coming up. I got a couple of cousins. Those kids, they growing up. Some of these kids now, I don't really know. But next year, my granddaughter will be graduated. That'll be my first grandchild to graduate. She'll graduate next year. But yeah, I was just wrapping up what I was talking about the discipline in school, what they gonna try to do, what are they trying to do. They're trying to bring the discipline back. They're trying to either bring the spanking back or trying to figure out some other type of punishment for the kids. I mean, I was just reading in some states how some parents had to sue the schools for the way they were spanking their children. I didn't even know that some schools were using leather straps Some schools were using canes. Some were using rulers. Some were using paddles to whoop the children. Some of these schools, they were trying to kill some of them children. These parents ain't going to stand for that. I don't want nobody to mistreat a child. That's why when my grandkids would be at school, I'd be like, because I know it's a lot of bullying and stuff like that going on, and they need to crack down on that too, especially when somebody bullying children with autism and different things like that. You know, they really need to do something about those kids because children can't help the way that they are born, and some children just don't have nothing else to do. But like I said, starts at home. If you teach your children to respect others one thing you have to respect yourself and respect your elders. And when you go out in public or go to school or church or whatever, you should know how to act. But nowadays, you put your hand on kids, the first thing they gonna holler, they gonna call the police on you. They gonna call defects on you. But you gotta have your rules. You gotta be able to discipline your child without having them to whoop you. Cause these kids will turn around and whoop the parent these days. Oh, but that bad, this generation right here. They on this internet, they learning stuff, they trying stuff. They see a lot of stuff on TikTok, they see a lot of stuff on YouTube, Instagram. They see a lot of stuff everywhere. And if they think they can try you, they gonna try you. But I tell my grandkids, man, don't let me fool you. They be like, Grandma, you can't catch up, you can't run. I said, all right, y'all try me. I said, this leg will move. Y'all think it won't move. I said, just do something crazy. I move faster than what y'all think I move. But no. But I let my grandkids know we don't play that disrespect. Mm-mm. Yep. I told them, ask your mama about them switches. My granddaughter said, Grandma, what is a switch? I said, you want me to show you what a switch is? It's a little limb off of a tree. A little limb off of a tree. My mom used to get like two of those little limbs and twist those little limbs up together and put them to work. And those little things will sting your leg, your arm. I tell you. And don't be trying to, when your mom try to whoop you, right? And then you'll put your hand, don't put your hand back there trying to stop her from whooping. Because my mom would be like, you better move your hand. Your hand gonna get whooped too. Yep, so especially if you've been being bad, you growing up in the 80s, you were expecting a whipping. Cause you're supposed to get back home a certain time. And like these days, these kids, man, you can get them curfews and tell them, look, you gotta be home at a certain time. They'll make up some type of excuse like, no, I had to go by get such and such, or I gotta do their report. Like Living for Jesus said, them phones, them iPads, them computers, they about took over this generation. And it ain't gonna get no easier, guys. But we got to maintain. But Albert, it was good seeing you. I want to thank everybody that did tune in today. It was a pretty good live. Thank y'all for the likes. And shout out to my members. I appreciate y'all so much. Shout out to everybody who did tune in today. Like I said, tomorrow I know I got an appointment in the morning, and I'm gonna try to make it to my uncle's funeral. Gonna be one of those days, but I'm gonna try to pay my respect. Cause my uncle, I just thought about him a minute ago. How we used to, when I was little, we used to want to go everywhere. I don't care wherever they went to church at. We would get in that station wagon, and he used to have a station wagon full of kids. I'm like, I sit back and think about that stuff now. I said, none of had on no seatbelt. I get back then they wasn't tight on the seatbelts the way they are now, but thank everybody for supporting. I'm going to end this right here. Oh. compliment. But Abby, was good seeing you. Now, don't work too hard now. Come back and see me sometime. Get this up right here. All right, you guys. Thank y'all again for tuning in. I pray that each and every one of y'all have a good night. Stay blessed, stay encouraged, and always stay what? Prayed up. Until next time, bye bye. And thanks for joining. Let me just play out 12 minutes. All right, y'all. See y'all on the next go around. Bye bye.